things get hard in life, you just keep swinging as hard as you can, you fight. That's our culture.
I promised you we had a plan. Remember that we talked about a plan? The plan was infallible. Part of that infallible plan is getting a team prepared, ready to go, so we start practice. Our coaches know what we got. And there's not one person in America I trusted more than Coach Mick and that staff. Think about this. 130 teams either today, they report, or they've already reported. 130. 16 weeks from now, there's going to be one champion. One champion in our conference, one champion on the side of our conference. And in the country, one team's going to do this. Not 36, not 48, not 44, one. That tells you how hard it is to be a champion. To do right all the time. To know your assignments. To have 11 guys play hard on every staff. That's hard. That's why there's one. I want a hungry team. I want a hungry team. I want a team that can't wait to get out there. Where there's a bunch of players that maybe, whenever a new coaching staff, you haven't played much, maybe you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're a hungry football player. I want a hungry team. And last one, most importantly.
Welcome to the world famous Buckeye show hosted by your boys Cleveland Mike and your guy Terry, man. Terry, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm going good, brother. I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm hanging tough, man. I cannot complain at all. It's been a good week. Kids been doing good at school, so I don't have any complaints.
My two oldest kids started school today, and my youngest starts school on Friday. So we're almost there.
Yeah, man. And my daughter just back in her full dance routine, man. I see my guy Jam in here. We got Aaron in here. And what's going on, man? And we got Pasha in here. Yes, the queen is in the building. Make sure that you guys are checking her and Minnie out every Sunday night, man. They have a great show. It's good hanging out in the chat with them, man. It's just good for all college football fans to hang out on a good Sunday night, man. But Terry, man, we got a lot to get into today, man. We got, talk about, as we always do, what's going on around college football. Tony Petitti is just talking crazy. I don't know if he's been hanging out with Eli Drinkowitz. Some news going on in Mizzou as well. And Coach O just hit us with some crazy stuff. We have interviews that have happened, and also we're going to talk about Buckeyes preparing for Texas as they end their fall camp, man. But Terry, before we get to our intro, is there anything else that you got for the people?
Man, listen, thank you for watching. As always, guys, if you like it as we're going, hit the like, all that, hit the subscribe. Let me think of a question of the day. Do we got to start doing this at the beginning and getting them a question? So actually, you know what? I just put a tweet.
I actually got one that's in the poll in the chat on YouTube. And it's like, what's the most likely to happen for Ohio State? And it's make it to the Natty, win the Natty, couple CFP wins, or Big Ten championship. Right now, win the Natty is winning out right now.
All right, there it is then. Let's go.
All right, man. Well, we will be right back.
The world famous Ohio State Buckeyes.
We might be in a situation where we have a superstar coach on our hands, kind of like how we did with Brian Hartline.
So right from the jump, make sure they understand they're playing somebody different tonight. They're playing the Buckeyes. They're playing the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Being the Buckeye, there's nothing better, bro. Man, Terry, man. So like I was saying, there's some news coming out of Mizzou, and fellow or former Big Ten player Bo Pabula is in a quarterback battle with Sam Horn at Mizzou. And Eli Drinkowitz said that they're going to play both quarterbacks in this game versus my former school, the University of Central Arkansas. So, I mean, how are you feeling about this? I was hoping that Bo could win this job outright.
Yeah, I mean, just having played against him coming from the Big Ten, I definitely wish best for him. I do know I've seen a Penn State fan that I trust pretty much like with their info and stuff. Basically, kind of say that they hope that he wins it because his dream school was Penn State, and he ended up leaving because he knew that he was just going to be the backup again, and if he were to leave to be a backup, that would suck. So, yeah, I mean, rooting for
Right.
him, dude. But also, like, I don't know, I mean, college football, it's not really about feelings, dude. If the other guy's better than him, they got to roll with him. You know what I mean? Because, like, I mean, not to say that he was put in a bad spot, but like he left his team in the middle of playoff run too. It's like, I don't know, man. But yeah,
He
either
got the
way,
blessing from James Franklin, man, and James Franklin didn't hold anything
course.
against him because he's
Of course.
like, it's not fair to the kid that he has to hit this transfer portal window, and he was it's not, it would been different if he didn't have to shop himself around, but being the backup behind the guy, for a couple of years, you got to shop yourself around.
Yep. I agree.
Man,
I agree. So good. Yeah, good luck to him, man. Like I said, let the best quarterback win out there.
facts, man.
The
So
other kid's a
Tony,
transfer too. Sorry. The other
yeah,
kid that he's battling is a transfer also, right?
yep. I mean,
So,
and they thought that they were going to have something at Mizzou last year with the quarterbacks and everything, and obviously that didn't turn out well. Mizzou could have a sneaky season if they can get this quarterback situation figured out, because I don't believe that their schedule is as hard as a Texas or even Alabama. So, I mean, they could sneak and end up getting into the CFP if they can get that offense and defense together. I mean, there's a lot of teams that's fighting to replace, that trash Tennessee, spot that they got. So
it's true. Wonder if that'll be somebody from the Big Ten this year.
Oh, I mean, I hope no Big Ten team looks that trash, but we'll see. I mean, the Big Ten
There's
already
definitely going to be Big Ten teams that are worse than Penn State or than Tennessee was last year.
not that get into the CFP. You can't be that bad. You cannot be that bad. I don't think so.
That group of teams that gets in is probably always going to be not great anyway, unless like I don't know, I guess something happens and a team slips up and gets a loss they shouldn't have. But even then, like Ohio State did that last year, I feel like, and they didn't end up in that grouping of teams. Like they were 8th, I think, and I'm talking about like the 9 through 12.
Yeah, man, and I see somebody is talking about it, man. I feel for Devin too. Same situation. Yeah, I mean Devin Brown losing the quarterback battle, but here's the thing, man. Will Howard also, remember, he had lost his job. He lost his job, but guess what? He had to stay ready. The year that they won, that Will Howard went ahead and willed Kansas State to become a Big 12 champion, he didn't start the season. He was not the starter. So, I mean, Devin Brown, I know that guy's going to get ready. And, if the young kid goes out there and makes mistakes, I think Devin Brown's going to get his chance, man. I really do. So
yeah, that's the thing too. Like, I don't, because I think Devin only had 1 year of eligibility left. Also, that would be kind of crazy if he just never got a chance to start ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which I mean, that's kind of what it's looking like. But again, with a freshman quarterback at a place like Cal, he's going to have ups and downs anyways. So, like, I feel like it's not out of the realm possibility that Devin's still going to get a chance to play a lot for them this year. So, hopefully he does, man. I mean, I've always been a fan of him, but I mean, dude, he's lost every quarterback battle, I guess, if you believe the 23 one. But other than that, I mean, he's lost every quarterback battle, and it's like, I don't know, like, thank you for sticking it out, not leaving us during the playoff run in case Will got hurt. Like, I appreciate that.
Right.
Kind of a worse than the Bo kid, because like I'm sure that Devin probably could have went somewhere else to a different school if he had left during the playoff run. And he chose to stay, and that maybe got him in a situation like this. But also that kid is an incoming freshman, so it's like you just got to win that, bro. Like you got, maybe he's not focused. I don't know. Whatever. I thought he was talented, but we'll see, man.
Yeah, we were talking about teams earlier, the bottom teams. making the CFP, and you were saying that those teams don't really matter anyways. But Tony Petitti believes that they matter, and even more teams matter when it comes to the CFP. He's talking about getting 24 to 28 teams in. I just think that at that point, it's a freaking joke. And I think anybody, you can say what you want, but at that point, the regular season is a complete joke at that point as well, because the only thing that you're doing is it's like the regular season will then become the preseason. And now what you were doing was you were trying to stop teams from being penalized for, losing a couple games and things like that. Now it's like, let me play this cupcake schedule, and now I got to go undefeated in this gauntlet of a playoff against all these other teams. That makes no sense.
It's pointless. Yeah. That's too many, bro. I think if they do take it to 16, I think it's at least doable at that point. I mean, I don't love it, but 16 would be okay. And then, I mean, anything more than that is just too much. You're just getting way too, you know what I mean? Like at this point, you're devaluing the regular season, like you said. And every team only has a few big time games anyway. So if we devalue those 2 big time games, then it's like, okay, we're just gonna maybe, it'll be more NFL like, I guess. We're like, I mean, as long as you don't have a terrible season and go and lose 5 games, you're in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, man. Another Buckeye I want to talk about, man, even though it happened to my Steelers, but Emeka Egbuka looks like he is going to be primed to be one of the top receivers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You hear Baker Mayfield, raving about him. You see him going out there and just scoring touchdowns. So, I mean, I'm very excited. Emeka, I wasn't expecting that he could possibly go out there and win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but it's starting to look like he possibly can.
Yeah, hey, dude, Emeka, for some reason, he looked like taller in his NFL uniform. He looked like he was just like bigger than all the DBs out there. And I mean, he's already made a couple plays. Emeka is just a guy who he's been so consistent that he's going to be good. You know what I mean? At minimum, he's going to be good. And this year, I would say for him to win Rookie of the Year, he definitely needs a couple things to go his way, but like he's going to be good. So if he ends up getting targeted a lot, Rookie of the Year, we need to get that back on our side anyway. We was winning them all for a while. So
definitely, man, we need to. Man, Ed Orgeron has some crazy things to say about Arch. It seems like Arch is sitting here saying, I don't want all this praise. I don't want all this praise. It's not warranted. But every time you turn around, you got a Paul Feinbaum going out there saying some crazy stuff. Now you got Ed Orgeron saying Arch is as close to or maybe as good as Joe Burrow. And I've never said that about anybody. Well, you've only had like maybe like 5-6 years to say something crazy like that. But I mean, do you think that he's far off? Do you think that we should just pump the brakes? How do you feel about this?
So this was my question I was going to ask the chat earlier. So let me do that. Everybody in the chat, let me know what you guys think about this, because I just want to know, like, are people overhyping Arch Manning, or is this kid the real deal? Like, I've seen some of him play. I've watched his reps that he had last year. To me, it's like, I guess maybe, but it's also like we're definitely overhyping it without seeing it. I want to get into it more, but let me know in the chat, guys. Is Arch being overhyped, or is he really going to be that good? Because I mean, if he is, then we're in for a crazy game here in 9 days.
Yeah, bro. I mean, if he's that good, here's my thing: is he Joe Burrow of 2028 good right now? That's Joe.
Yep.
2018. Is he that Joe Burrow right now? And then maybe in his second year as a starter,
well, Mike, let me tell you this:
ceiling, but
he definitely doesn't have Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. So, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, you definitely have to factor that in. That LSU offense was crazy. Like obviously Burrow blew up because of it, and he did everything he needed to do. And he was the what made it go. But also like you had two of the best receivers in the current NFL on that team, plus multiple other NFL players on that offense. So I don't know if Texas has that. I mean, I know they have some NFL players, but that level was just crazy.
Yeah, and we're going to get into some Texas prep and what it's going to take for the Buckeyes later. But as we go and get into that, man, we definitely have to take care of some housekeeping things real quick, man. So, Terry, you get to sit back and relax as we go ahead and get into this. Get your business, product, service, or personal brand to the next level by partnering with the voice of college football. See what our partner Win Agency has to say about his partnership experience with us right here on screen. Let's discuss how you can also reach your target market. Contact us at sponsorships at vocfb.com. Again, that is sponsorships at vocfb.com today. All right, Terry, man. Now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty, man. Since the last time we have talked, so much has gone on for Ohio State, man. They've gotten out of camp, and now they have named the captains. And you hear guys named like Caleb Downs, Austin Saraville, Brandon Ennis, and Sonny Styles, while also Sonny Styles winning the Blocko recipient. Just talk to me about what you think about the four captains, and how do you feel that they're gonna lead going into the season?
Yeah, I think they nailed it, bro. Like, I think we have four captains that are four true leaders. And the only one that I was worried, worried is definitely not the right word. The only one that I thought maybe it could be somebody else in that spot was Austin Searville. But I mean, Iron Buckeye in the winter, Iron Buckeye in the summer, like earned the left tackle spot. I mean, you gotta, and I'm sure that came with a lot of just being very confident and being a leader. So the guy who I thought could potentially be in there, to replace Austin Searville was Carson Hinsman. That was the only one who I thought. You know what I mean? Just because this would be his third year starting at center. I mean, technically, it's his second year, but he took over last year for Seth, and then in 23. But yeah, dude, these captains are. I think it's perfect. I mean, what do you think?
No, I have no issue with the captains, man. I thought maybe like a Kenyatta Jackson would have had an opportunity, but also like you were saying, man, Iron Buckeye from Austin Saraville, not surprised. Now, I believe we have our first captain that is a transfer in Caleb Downs, but I tell you this, I am not shocked about it, especially when you're talking about the interviews and you hearing Davison Igbinosa talk about him as Coach Downs. And
Coach
then
Downs,
also,
man.
Caleb Downs just also talking about how, I have this knowledge, and if I want us to be the best that we can be, BIA, like I gotta spread it. So I mean,
he said, God gave me this ability.
Yeah.
And he said, I feel like it's my job to spread it. I don't know. Obviously, that comes from all the hard work and stuff that he's put in, but I haven't seen too many players that are as special as him in terms of just diagnosing the game. And like sometimes he feel like he knows the play better than the offense knows the play, man. So
agreed.
I hope he continues spreading that throughout the team, man.
Now, Terry, earlier during this offseason, we had to get on here. We had to quiet some people down. A lot of hype was coming up about the shiny new toys, and a lot of people were looking past Brandon Ennis. And some people saying, man, I'm shocked. The guy who hasn't really had much production goes out there and gets to be a captain. And here's the thing. If you went and watch Ryan Day's interview, one thing that he said is if we did not bring these guys back and pay these guys to come back and not go to the NFL, these guys would have been starters last year. So I think that tells you, but also it's not just that. The only thing that's really changing from the starting three is Brandon Ennis is replacing Emeka Egbuka. Now
Yeah.
you're talking about it. JJ is speaking on this and saying that they could be even more explosive. He's speaking even highly of Brandon Ennis as well and saying Brandon Ennis is going to shock the world.
I mean, dude, I don't think that one should be a surprise to anyone at all. Obviously, he's a junior or whatever, but like he was on the leadership committee last year. And everybody knows that he's stepping into a starting spot this year because he was the next receiver to play last year. And I think that having these three specifically together is obviously something special because all three of them played together at SFE. I think they won a national championship at SFE together. So that's cool. And I do think they're going to be explosive, bro. BI got his weight down. And he looks fast, bro. People are underestimating him. And our guy Ron, what he always says, I kind of agree with him. He says that kid played football in South Florida, and I've never seen a video of him getting hawked down from behind. So he ain't slow.
Yeah, he said, I think Ron had talked to some guys down there in South Florida, and I believe it was like Brandon Ennis, offensive coordinator. He said, and he was like, you'll see Brandon Ennis running for touchdowns, and the man's never been caught from behind. So
that's what I'm saying.
It's just, also, we seen it. We seen it in a game where he made a guy miss and boot skirted off to a touchdown. And that's just what I'm excited for also from these interviews that I felt like no one was talking about was when Brian Hartline spoke on these quarterbacks. I mean, not on the quarterbacks. Yeah, when he spoke on the quarterbacks about Julian. And what he said was he said he gives the wide receivers or the playmakers an opportunity to make plays. And what that sounds to me is because also just thinking, going back to the spring game, that was something that I noticed out of Lincoln. He get the ball there, but there was no opportunity for the wide receivers or the skill guys to get yak. And it sounds like Julian is giving these guys the opportunity to get yak. And that is something that we have probably been kind of missing, or those explosive runs and those explosive yaks. We've kind of been missing, I'd say, since Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson.
Last year, JJ definitely had a good yards after the catch.
Yeah.
We've been missing that for sure.
From like multiple guys.
You think back to like the guys you're talking about, and then even back, before that, like that 2018 group of receivers. You're talking about yak, crazy yak. You know what I mean? I think that this team has the ability of that, dude. I mean, with Julian saying, like you said, he's putting the ball pretty much to the point where he's even going to make the receiver right with the ball. That's how good that they're saying his ball placement is. And I've seen it in person. I mean, he definitely does, he puts the ball where he wants it. You know what I mean? Like, as long as he makes the right decision on where to put it, we're going to see more yards after the catch, dude. I mean,
that's what I'm looking forward to. That is something that I've been missing. And all I'm saying is Brandon Ennis does not have the nickname Showtime for no reason, man. So, it's just crazy. Like, Jeremiah was on the interview. I know this wasn't the Buckeyes interviews, but he was on the interview with Urban Meyer and Mark Ingram, basically, saying like, I think that this will be way better than it was last year. And everyone was like, oh, let me text Emeka. I already texted Emeka and let Emeka know. So, people were they were shocked to see this, but this is something that we've been saying for a while, Terry. If people have been tuning in and checking this, man, we're going to have to do some micro content and get this out because people probably don't know. We've been predicting a lot of these things that some of these players have been saying. Out of the interviews, is there anything that interested you that came out? Anything important that you felt?
Important? Like, nah, I feel like the Ryan Day's got him super buttoned up right now. Players were not really giving you too much nuggets. It was more so just talking about like just the relationship with the players around them and stuff like that. at least from what I noticed, I didn't get to catch all the tight end interviews, but I did catch like Caleb Downs and like most of the secondary guys the other day. But I mean, again, you know, other than stuff like we kind of touched on one already where Iggy was like Caleb Downs is the captain, obviously, or sorry, Caleb Downs is the coach. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Caleb Downs is the coach, and I feel like you could already tell that. Like if you just watch, I think what this is a little bit off subject, Mike, but I think what is going to make our defense crazy this year is I think that Sonny Styles has learned from Caleb Downs a lot, in the sense of like when I went to practice, Sonny Styles looked like, and they're practicing versus their own team, probably seeing a lot of the same plays, right? But Sonny Styles looked like he knew what play was coming before it happened. And he was hitting stuff in the backfield and was like diagnosing stuff how Caleb was. So I just watch out for that this year, man, because Sonny's a freak athlete. And I know I took us off track a little bit, but I just that popped in my head talking about Caleb Downs.
No, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'll tell you some things that I thought was interesting. I was watching Jelani Thurman's interview and him speaking on CJ Hicks, and it's like everybody has been waiting. When is CJ Hicks going to, come on the scene and everything? And the media just kept prying and like, tell us more about CJ Hicks. And he's just saying like his speed to power is different. And he's saying if you're going up against CJ Hicks, you better have a plan. I'm very interested to see. You get CJ Hicks if going up against a tight end and trying to have a tight end chip him, or seeing how that goes, or if he's going up against a tight end and the tight end block him, what's that win success rate? Because I mean, Jelani sounds like, CJ Hicks is gonna be something, and he's gonna shock all of us. And this is something that we've all been waiting for, because I know a lot of people do not want to buy no stock in this.
So many people are not wanting to commit to buying that stock just because obviously people have done it every single year, and he hasn't panned out yet. But I mean, this is a new position. This is a position where I think that he's going to thrive, and he looks like he's got the size. And Larry Johnson. I mean, people can say what they want about Larry Johnson, but he's going to get people right. You know what I mean? Like his whole D line just got drafted in the NFL, all within the first 4 or 5 rounds last year. So I mean, hey, let me see a CJ Hicks breakout year. That would be crazy. That would be like the craziest thing that could happen for real. Our defense will be. I'm going to say we probably would have the best defense in the country if that happened.
Yeah, and I did like something out of the tight end room. Max Clare came here from Purdue to be able to push himself, and he was just speaking on, one thing that we've heard is the best blocking tight end is Will Kazmarek. I mean, he's been saying that he's been learning how to block, learning the technique, hand positions, how to keep driving a defender while you're blocking them, things like that. Max Clare has been working with Will K. I think that just says a lot. And, one thing that I wanted to see was Will K another year in this strength and conditioning program as well, just to see how he transitions, because I did feel in the beginning of the season he had a little hard time with the speed of the game. But now his second year playing, in one of the best conferences, I'm very excited to see how that turns out. Also, he's going to be playing his former school this year, and no one has talked about that. Will K will be playing Ohio University, the school he came from, man.
Hey, I didn't even think about that. Honestly, that's a good catch, Mike. I feel like nobody's going to care about that because it's his second year here. Dude, he's not bad. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good tight end. And honestly, he was pretty good at blocking when they asked him to. So if he can take a step up and maybe get a little bit better at running routes, a little bit better at blocking, which, I mean, the one interview I did check out was Coach Key. And, dude, Coach Key sounds like he's talking crazy about his room. He's like, dude, we got like all the best tight ends. He's like, every tight end in this room is the best tight end. He's like, he was talking about Nate Roberts. He's like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Like, he's going to help us this year. Like he's helping us win games this year. So He's been talking crazy, man. If Will K levels up too, the tight end room is just nuts. I mean, what he's saying about Nate Roberts is definitely true.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this tight end room. And you got to remember, Coach Key was also very critical and said that we are the worst position group on this team. So for him to switch that up from worst position group on the team to he feels that they're the most strong part of the team now, I think that is a very, very dangerous thing for college football going forward. And especially this Ryan Day offense, you thought it was crazy when we had these freakish, talented wide receivers. Now you're putting a freakish, talented tight end, and you saw how we were force feeding Cade Stover. Now you put someone who Bennett Christian is saying Max Clare is the better route runner that he's seen that tight end. And I mean, you gotta imagine, even going up against opponents Bennett Christian has seen from Texas, Oregon. You talking about Brock Bowers, because he was on the roster when we went up against Georgia. So, I mean, maybe he's not. I'm not saying that he's saying that he's Brock Bowers, but when you're talking about route running, I'm very excited. I mean, I think that's going to be hard for linebackers and safeties to keep up with, and they're not going to be expecting that from this type of tight end.
Yeah, I almost think Max Clare is just not getting enough hype, dude. I think he's really good, and like if you go back to the spring game and watch the touchdown that Julian threw to him, we haven't had a tight end have a release like that off the line. I can't remember one, honestly. And he was wide open. He found the perfect spot in the zone. Like, I think he's going to be really good, dude. And that's going to be a problem for other teams, because if Ohio State's able to throw the ball down the middle of the field, teams are going to be in trouble, because Ryan Day, his offense is already predicated on attacking the sidelines with this pass game. And if we're able to throw down the middle of the field also because of guys like B.I. and Max Clare, it's going to get tight for other teams, man. I think Julian can make all the throws. I mean, I genuinely do believe that.
Facts, man. Well, before we go ahead and get into this Texas prep, we got one more commercial to hit you guys with. Go ahead and bless us, Mark.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link, and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.
We are back, man. So, again, we got Texas prep. You know, we're going to get, talk more, probably give our score predictions and everything next week. But now we have came out of camp. We have our starter, man, and it is Julian Sand. What is the preparation that we need for Julian Sand, our starter, to get him ready? And I also ask you this, Terry, because they asked, is there a chance that we could possibly see Lincoln? And it sounds like they might have some packages for Lincoln, man. So
I don't think so.
Go ahead.
Bro.
Terry's already. Well, Terry answered the latter part first, so go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro. I think even when they asked Ryan Day about it, he was like, yeah. He didn't really sound like he was really about to do something like that. I do agree that we need Lincoln to stay locked in, because Julian Sand could obviously get hurt at any moment. You're one play away. So I'm not talking bad about him. We're probably going to need him this year. But in this game, assuming all things go well, I don't think we'll see him a single play in this game, if I'm being honest with you. But as far as Julian Sand goes, I think what Ryan Day really needs to do right now, dude, is he needs to do everything that he can to get his confidence through the roof. Like, Julian Sand needs to go into this game thinking that he's like the best quarterback. That's going to be on the field, but maybe like, I'm the best quarterback in the Big Ten. I'm the best quarterback in college football. And I know that kids are supposed to have that mentality anyway, but if we're being honest, it's not. A coach might have to instill that. They might have to help them get that. And that's what we need from him, honestly, because I think if he gets comfortable in this game, then Ohio State's definitely going to win the game. And if they win this game and he gets comfortable, I think you're going to see a special season out of Julian Sam with these wide receivers.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing is I believe the script, whatever the script is, needs to be dynamic, opening up against Texas. One thing that I believe in this game is whichever quarterback gets comfortable the quickest is the quarterback that's going to lead their team to victory. And I'll tell you this one thing, if Julian's just able to go out there and be comfortable with the weapons that you have in the Jeremiah Smith, the Carnell Tate, the Max Clares, the Brandon Ennis, if the run game is hitting as well, like if Julian Sand is able to go out there and be comfortable, also not have to worry about getting sacked, I think that it could be kind of scary hours, man. We seen some clips from back when he was in high school where, shoulder pads coming out the jersey, where he got a little dog in him. So I'm definitely excited to see that. I want to see, that dog that he had back in high school. I want to see that where he hyping the team up. I also think that Brandon Ennis is going to keep him level-headed and hype, and not let him get discouraged or down on himself if he make a mistake.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what I mean by comfortable, dude. Like, I don't mean like comfortable to where I don't mean like he's going to be uncomfortable at any point. But when I'm saying comfortable, I just need him to get to the point where he's confident in this game, and just be like, look, like I know that I'm about to go out here and make the right read. I'm about to go out here and make the right throw. I'm making the right decision. Don't second guess yourself at all. Like Julian, somebody send it to him. Don't second guess yourself, man. You got the talent. Go out there, get that ball out. And it's not like if you throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith or even Carnell Tate, chances are they're going to catch it. The chance that the other team catches it is like very low. They're not about to just let that happen.
Right. I mean, that's Julian saying, man, I'm very excited. Our starting quarterback, man. And here's the thing, man. Julian saying everybody's talking about what Arch can be. Is Julian saying put that chip on his shoulder and say, hey, let me show everybody what I can be?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, that's
we may have the better
thing.
quarterback on the field. Like you know what I mean? Like it's very possible. People act like that's not possible. It is.
If Julian Sand was still at Alabama, everybody be talking about Alabama going for or winning the national championship. Everybody be talking about Julian Sand for the Heisman, all of this crap. So I ain't trying to hear it, man. But let's get into some things, man. What are the keys that our offense has to prepare for going up against Texas? Now, I did see somebody in the chat said slot fade to be our first play. One thing that Texas does is that they play a lot of zone, man, and they like to keep everything in front of them. So I'm not really seeing that. You're going to have to, use somebody kind of as a decoy to get one of the safeties in conflict, and then let somebody else beat their man one-on-one is what you're going to have to do. But I mean, what do you think about how is this offense going to have to prepare for Texas? Because one thing that I believe is you have to have a good running game going up against Texas. We really didn't. I kind of felt like our running game struggled at times in that Texas game, but I do want that to be something that Julian can actually lean on.
Yeah, I think that if we're not able to get to throw the ball successfully, then our run game's not going to work well. You look back to last year in that Texas game, we threw the ball decent, but Texas's defense was really causing problems for Ohio State's offense. Now, I do think that our run game this year might be more suited to attack this kind of defense because we brought in 3 offensive line coaches who one of them was an offensive coordinator who was basically in control of the run game. Talking about Tyler Bowen. I think that our run game is going to look different this year, a lot different. Chip Kelly did a lot of misdirection and stuff like that. I think you're going to see more power from this run game this year. And the offensive line, dude, like I don't remember ever seeing 5 dudes this big on our offensive line. Like they're huge, bro. Every single one of them, like they're giants, bro. They're all over 6'5". They're listen, I just can't overstate it enough. I really think that our O line is going to be kind of more mauler type this year, and less misdirection. But I think that's the type of run game that you need to attack the style of defense that Texas runs, which I always refer it back to this. Their defense is very similar to what Michigan runs.
Yeah.
And both of those defenses, if you start trying to run side to side on them and get misdirection, they're going to create negative plays because it's a super aggressive defense. So I think you almost have to go head up with them and kind of run power, run at them, and that's going to automatically cause some of their guys to get misaligned. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it's going to be this year, though, man. I think the run game could be very successful because it's going to be different.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Knuckles and Sonic out there.
I hate that. I hate that, bro.
I love it, man, because I
forced.
was a big Sonic fan, and Knuckles was one of my favorite. So I loved it. I love it, man.
Man, we just had Travion Henderson on our team. If he ain't Sonic, nobody else is allowed to be Sonic. What are we talking about here?
That's true, man. Definitely.
I guarantee both of them.
No, Trey was Speedy Gonzalez, man. We good. Yeah. Ain't nobody being Speedy Gonzalez.
I just don't know if James Peoples or CJ Donaldson are fast enough to call them Sonic. I don't know. Maybe James Peoples is super fast and I just haven't seen it. I hope so. I mean,
I see it, man. But they say my guy Bo Jackson is Shadow, so
let's go.
But what are the keys? Hey, what are the keys that we have to prepare for on the defensive side for Texas?
On the defensive side?
Yeah. Last year, Sark likes to do a lot of misdirection. He likes to try to create mismatches. One thing that we saw is he loves that screenplay, and he tried that screenplay last year, and I believe Kenyatta Jackson got a hand on the ball and stopped it, right? So we know that Sark loves that as well. Another thing that he loves is he loves running that little that wheel route whatever. Yeah, with the running back and using like a pick play on the linebacker. So how is Matt Patricia going to scheme up against Sark?
Okay, so what I think we need to prepare for is going to be the opposite of the things you just said. And I'm not saying this is not like like you're wrong or nothing like that. It's what I think is going to happen. I think that Sark is going to try to go deep in this game. I think Sark's going to try to take more shots down the field in this game. So I think that we need to prepare for that. The only reason I say that is because back when Quinn Ewers was first starting and he was confident, he was not hurt, his confidence wasn't shot from 2 years of starting with everybody wanting Arch Manning over him. They were throwing the ball downfield, and they had the receivers to do it. Now, I don't know if they have that this year, but I will say that if that is an option for with the receivers they have, I think that Steve Sarkisian will do it. So I think we need to prepare for them to try to take some shots in this game.
Well, Wingo is, I would say probably like their fast wide receiver. And to be honest, he kind of almost got loose if it wasn't for Caleb Downs with the we're tripping him up almost like a shoestring tackle. Yeah. He kind of probably would have been gone. But that wasn't even really
Jordan
like
Hancock was catching him. I went back and watched it. He wasn't scoring on that play.
All right. Well, Terry said Jordan Hancock was going, but again, like I said, the young man is very, very fast. But Terry, you did bring up a good point because if you go back and watch that, also, one thing that I do believe is Matt Patricia. I believe he's going to be aggressive against a first-time starting quarterback in Arch Manning. And I know a lot of Texas fans believe, he started against Mississippi State. Okay. He, or played against Mississippi State. Started against, Boo Boo the Fool, whatever. He has not started against an Ohio State team with these caliber athletes. And I think that one thing that we're going to see is Matt Patricia be able to disguise a little bit more, which could possibly confuse Arch. And I just believe that our freak athletes getting after the quarterback, man, I think is just going to be different.
Problem.
I think that it's going to be different, man. One thing that I said is that this is the year of the Twitch monsters. And it's like, hey, we're preparing for that Ohio State team, of last year. But some of those guys weren't as twitchy as these guys. Also, you got a K-Mac who has his stamina. Going up against, this is my biggest thing. And I watched, I believe, college football with Sam. I watched him talk about, Ohio State linebackers, and then he started getting into like the fronts, and he was talking about he trusted Texas O-line experience against Ohio State's D-line. And it kind of confused me, Terry, because I remember our defensive linemen getting in that game against Texas and putting hands on people and making plays. Texas is running out a whole brand new offensive line, 4 guys. On our offensive line, only one of those guys didn't play against Texas.
Yeah. And they got injuries on their offensive line too, dude. One of their guys is out for the season, and the other one of their starters is hurt, and they're saying that I seen like a message board rumor, so obviously I don't know for sure, but they're saying that it's not really a minor injury, but he'll still be able to play. So, yeah, I mean, our D line is new also, though, Mike. That's what you got to remember. We don't really know what to expect. Like, there are guys like K-Mac and KJ who I have high expectations for, and even Edric. Like, I think Edric could be the best one out of them all, potentially. You know what I mean? So, like, we got high expectations for them, but they have to actually go do it. And I'm not going to say that they're going to dominate this game until I actually see them go do it.
You can't big up Larry Johnson and sit here and say, we know what Larry Johnson goes out here and produces and puts on the field. If he puts them guys on the field, he believes that those guys can go out there and get the job done. My thing is you're talking about, normally as an offensive lineman, you get a warm up being, fresh, brand new. And I understand they've been practicing against Texas O-line and all of this stuff. But I've also heard that O-line have been having some issues against Texas D-line as well. But you go out there and you like, I've been going up against this. You get your confidence. Because that's what your O-line coach is like. You've been doing this against our D-line, and our D-line is better. Look, everybody in the country said we better. And then K-Mac go out there and smack you in the mouth. That's a different type of, your confidence meter ain't going to just be up here, bro.
I don't know if they got somebody like K-Mac over there, man.
But that's what I'm
saying. He's different.
But that's what I'm saying. It's different. And also, when you got a K-Mac that's just blowing it up 2 yards behind the line, and then you're allowing a Arvell Reese, who Cody Simon went out there, had a game out there. But you're talking about someone who's way more twitchier, way more freakier. And I remember telling you guys, when these guys got on the field, you can hear the pads popping through the TV. It's just a different hit. It's a different feel. How are those guys going to take that for the whole 60 minutes?
Yeah. The dude I think is like so different, bro, is Arvell. Like, I've never seen somebody who tackles someone and it's like it looks like it hurts, bro. Even if he tackles people with their arms, because someone could be running and he'll get an arm tackle on them and stop them in their tracks and like throw them down backwards. And you know what I mean? It's like, I've never seen someone who just seems like every time that he goes and hits someone, he has more force than them and they go backwards. He's not moving backwards ever at all. Like, you're going backwards if you try to hit him. And I feel like even that might even be the case with like offensive linemen, dude. If he gets momentum and is like blitzing, like, I don't think they're going to be able to stop him in his tracks. I don't know. I don't know what it is about Arvell, dude. He's a monster, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think that this is going to be a different type of defense and here's the thing about this game, preparing for this game, is I know that they're saying, hey, we don't want to change too much, but what Matt Patricia has the opportunity to do is to go out there and show Sark something that he has not seen before and that they were not able to game plan. And if you can go out there and execute that first half, sky's the limit with that, man. I do want to say there's this weird stat that's going out. Starting QBs are 0-18. Are 0-18 against number one team. And I want to ask you in the chat, what is the difference? What is the difference in this year, the number one team going up against the number 3 team? What is the difference in this year versus every other year of this 0-18 first-time quarterbacks making their starts against the number one team? You guys tell me, what is the difference? Terry, do you know what the difference is?
Yeah, I mean, dude, 99% of the time, this is going to be the number one team playing against a bad team because almost everybody plays bad teams to start the year off. So I would like to see like the actual breakdown. There may be 1 or 2 in there where they actually played against a good team who had a new starting quarterback, but like I think that you could easily have an argument that Ohio State should be number 1 and not Texas. You know what I mean? Like that, I feel like that's something that there's not that much separation between 1 and 3 where I would even consider it like technically Texas is starting a new quarterback. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I just don't think that there's anything to that. Like that's a cool stat. That's like a deep cut stat, something that I would probably find and be like, oh, look at this and try to troll people with it, just how that person did. But I don't think it means anything. I really don't.
Yep, I don't think it means anything, and it definitely doesn't mean anything in this game. Do you know why, Terry?
Nope.
I'm going to tell you why it doesn't mean anything. Because think about this. Who are your number 1 preseason teams normally? It was probably Alabama.
Yep, exactly.
And let's talk about who Bama has been playing. I can tell you when they played FSU, there was no reason. Playing Miami, there was no reason. Playing USC, there was no reason. All of those teams really weren't good, right? You talk about them having to go up against Ohio State, and Ohio State is favored in this game. I don't believe that has happened before. So that's an anomaly. That's why this stat doesn't mean anything in this game.
Mike, you might have just cracked the code, bro. How many times in those games in that 18-0 was the team with the new quarterback favored to win? I would almost be willing to bet it was 0.
0, probably.
I almost guarantee it was 0 because it was the number 1 team. They're going against the number 1 team. So it takes a team like Ohio State playing in Texas to be favored in this game and then be considered the number 1 team.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, Terry, man, we got our Buckeyes against the world segment, man. Yeah. And basically we got to talk about, one thing that I put in the poll, or I put a poll in the chat. What's most likely to happen for Ohio State? Is it make it to the Natty, win a Natty, a couple CFP wins, or Big Ten championship? What is most likely to happen? Or Ohio State beats that team up north. What is most likely to happen for the Buckeyes this year? Mostly 43% of the people who voted said it's most likely Ohio State will win a Natty. They believe in JJ, and they believe we're going back to back, man. Out of those 4, what would you pick?
Read me the options one more time because I can't see it on my end where I'm logged in.
Make it to a Natty, win a Natty, a couple CFP wins, or Big Ten championship. What's most likely to happen?
Wasn't beat Michigan in there?
I mean, I added that at the end, but you can only have 4 options.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Okay. All right. I just knew that I heard that. I mean, the obvious answer is like the one, like win a couple playoff games, I think. But I do think that Ohio State has a good chance of going back to back. I was going to say beat Michigan, but you that one's not technically included. And the only reason I say that, I think our guy, Truther, said this. He said, I'm going to pick Ohio State to beat Michigan because JJ told me that he ain't losing to them again. And I need to believe him because he is who he is. You know what I mean? Like that's the best player in college football. I think if Ryan Day doesn't stop him, like literally go out there and stop him personally, or call plays where he can't get open, then I think JJ is going to go crazy against them, and Ohio State will beat Michigan.
See, you going off of what Truther. He should have went off of what I told you last week. I already
What was
told
that?
you. And I told everybody that we was going to beat that team up north because JJ already said he's standing 10 toes on it. And then he doubled down.
Maybe it was you that said that. Maybe I'm mistaken.
And then he doubled down on it today and said, I hate them mother. Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Yeah. I love hey, that's what we've been needing. And just the dogs like we got in our captains, BI, Caleb, I love it. Ohio State, their path to the Big Ten championship is going to have to be over, I would say, Penn State and Oregon. How likely is that? Because I believe Oregon has a cupcake way to the Big Ten championship. And then Penn State, I believe they have us, and I'm not sure if they got anybody else.
I just honestly, I don't know what the tiebreaker is because you would have assuming that Penn State and Oregon don't lose to someone else in the Big Ten, you're going to have.
Whoops, it kicked Terry off. Well, if Terry comes back, we will bring him up. But I think that Ohio State, if they were able to make the Big Ten championships, I would just say that it would be because they're definitely one of the top teams in the country. I believe that their schedule is harder than Penn State's and Oregon. And I know Josh Pate talked to James Franklin today. And the biggest question is, can James Franklin win the big game? We know he can because he did it in 2016. It's just been a while since he's done it, right? This is supposed to be the year that you would expect him to do it. But, I mean, I'm still riding with my Buckeyes against them. Don't know if Ohio State could lose against anybody else. So maybe Ohio State and Oregon in that game. But what if Penn State beats Oregon? And, I mean, that could be crazy. Then you might have another Ohio State, Penn State Big Ten championship matchup, which I think would be crazy as well. Ohio State's path to the college football playoffs, I believe that regardless, even if Ohio State comes out 10-2, I think that would just be dangerous for teams. I think that nobody wants to see a 10-2 Ohio State in the college football playoffs. Here's the thing, the team up north, their schedule isn't really that hard. Now, if they're the team that they say they are, I could possibly see that game, the game, could be the battle for who goes to the CFP and who doesn't. It could mean a lot for the game. And I think that would bring a lot more luster because that was always the thing, right? You beat that team and whoever won that game, it was like, hey, we spoiled your season. You can't do anything else. You either go to a crappy bowl game, you don't go to a bowl game at all, or you don't even go to the Natty. It was taking something like that. And it was like last year that didn't happen, but there is a chance, like if these teams roll up in here, they both have 2 losses or whatever in this game, you never know, man. It could come down to the wire. So that's Ohio State. That's what I believe Ohio State's path. Teams that I believe could give Ohio State a run for their money. One thing that I just feel like a lot of people aren't doing is respecting Alabama. I think the biggest thing that Alabama had issues with last year was their offense, and offense, mostly Jalen Milroe. I believe that it was hard for them to kind of open up the run game when you don't really got to worry about the quarterback throwing the ball or beating you like that. He was missing guys wide open, and then you have a Ryan Williams as well. I believe he, probably had the same issues as JJ, right? The speed of the game, learning new things. Ryan Williams should be able to play faster than when he was able to play last year. And if you can get a quarterback who can make all the right throws, which I believe Ty Simpson, that's who Alabama is rolling with, should be able to make all the right throws. If that's who they're rolling with, then I think that they should be a good team. Also, their defense, I believe, is going to be stout as well. And back when DeBoer was at Washington, I didn't feel like the defensive scheme was bad at all. I just felt like they just didn't have the Jimmies and Joes. But one thing that we know about Alabama is they have the Jimmies and Joes. So that's the one team that I would be kind of worried about. I'm not as worried about Clemson. Like I've said, I believe if Clemson makes it to the college football playoffs and once they go up against a real team, I don't think that they're going to be able to I think that they're going to get exposed. I'm trying to think if there's another team. I'm not worried about Georgia. I mean, we wanted Georgia last year, but they couldn't get past Notre Dame. I'm not worried about Oregon. We seen what we did to them. Yeah, Alabama would be the only team that I'd probably, be worried about. But other than that, that's it. Make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you like the watching. If you are watching on X, man, make sure that you hit that retweet button. Also hit that like button. It helps us out. And it definitely helps out the algorithm on YouTube. You hitting the like button is free. Just helps us grow. And if you would like to be doing the memberships as we get into the season and bringing you more access and more content, make sure you go ahead and join the Black Oak Club for $2.99. JT wasn't short for $4.99, and we don't give a damn for $9.99, man. We appreciate all of you all for being here, man. Make sure that you check out my guy Garrison tomorrow for the call-in show. If you got something that you want to say, get it off your chest, man. Games will be happening this weekend for week 0, and then we'll be back here next Wednesday to go ahead and talk about the Texas game and all of the big-time games as well, because we don't just talk the Buckeyes on this channel. We also talk about everybody else, man. I appreciate you guys, man, and with that, I'm out.
World famous Ohio State Buckeyes.
We might be in a situation where we have a superstar coach on our hands, kind of like how we did with Brian Hartline.
So right from the jump, make sure they understand they're playing somebody different tonight. They're playing the Buckeyes. They're playing the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Being a Buckeye, there's nothing better, bro.